Welcome back, everyone. This is Mondo All Day, back with another video. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the revival. Yeah, that's right. The rival from the Injustice Society, and of course, Batgirl Cassandra Cain. Because finally, we've been wanting one. I know I've been wanting one, and here she is. Finally, has arrived. As always, I'll be talking about the figures itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box for each one. We'll start off with the rival, so the front of the box, this side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. And then we'll do Cassandra Cain, front of the box, the side, the back, the other side, top, and bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at each figure outside the box. As always, we do come with a card. The front of the card looks like for the revival. The back of the card. Front of the card looks like for Batgirl Cassandra Cain. The back of the card. They do come with accessories. So for Batgirl Cassandra Cain, it does come with a grappling gun. Right, there's the grappling gun and of course the little end to it. Not much to it, it's just painted silver, black, and then of course the handle on there. And it does come with a batarang, nice gold paint. Something simple design. For the rival, it does include several accessories. It does come with 2 extra pair of hands. So he has regular like running hands, then he has like crawl-like hands. There's 2 of them. Right. And it also comes with fist as well too. And it comes with like the blue lightning bolts that we've seen before. Right, there's 2 of them right there. Light blue. And then another 2. And of course, it comes with a regular puck stand. So let's take a look at rival. So we'll start off with the articulation. So head, left and right, up, down, shoulder articulation, bicep. It's a little stiff, but it's there. Elbow, wrist, torso, be really good torso, swivel, then leg, knee, ankle, and last but not least, toes as well. So overall, the articulation of this figure is actually really good overall. Now let's talk about the figure itself. And if you're wondering, Mondo look familiar, it's because this is a repaint from the previous one of the Jay Garrick. And we'll do the headpiece. This headpiece, it looks much, much better in person. The images of this headpiece, it looks good as is, kind of creepy looking. But what I'm telling you, when you see this in person, you're going to be wanting to get this figure. Because one, the grin on his face looks incredible. You get the painted teeth on there. You got a little bit of shadowing between each teeth. Then you have here the eyes, the lightning bolt eyes, which actually look really darn good. And the like is actually standing out, like it's actually on. It's actually plastic as opposed to just paint. And I actually like that. Makes the figure pop even more. You got the painted lips on there, and then you have here the helmet as well. Not the helmet, the hat, or whatever you want to call it. Nice little detail on there. I do like the paint, that silver paint, and of course with that gold paint as well too. Then you got a little bit of the hair, just regular brown with just dark brown, a little bit of brown. But the headpiece, it is a great looking headpiece. Is it like top notch, 10 out of 10? No, but for what it is, I gotta say, it looks really, really good. And then you have here the arms. The arm just going to be your typical spandex, just all one solid color with a nice muscle tone. You got the big shoulder, bicep, and tricep. Then you got the forearm. Then you have here the, as I like to call it, the running hands, right? Just regular, like light red or burgundy red type of thing. Here's the other side as well too. Not much to it in terms of the design of the arms. And then here is the upper body. You can see the logo on here. The logo is matte colored, but you have a lot on it, so it kind of makes it look like it's shiny, but it's not. But it's more mustard. This one's more like yellowish. This is more like mustard color on the logo. And then you have the upper body, which is gonna be typical like Jake Garrett, which is spandex, right? Muscle tone. You got the chest, the side obliques, the abdomen as well too. Then you have the back on here. Again, very clean, plain looking spandex character, right? Just very muscle tone. There's a lower back as well too. And so overall, the upper body on this figure, it looks good. I mean, I like the original one. I think this is a great looking figure, the Jake Garrett. This one, I like it as well too. I do like the upper body, but the headpiece is a really standout. I do like the eyes, the lightning coming out of his eyes. Something about it, but when you look at it in person, it's one of those things where it just grabs your attention. You know, because I thought it was going to be painted, just painted blue, but it actually has lightning bolts out of it, which is pretty cool. But in terms of the upper body itself, it looks good. I like it. I like this color. I do prefer this kind of color as opposed to that one, which I'll compare it in a bit with this one. But so far, the upper body, good looking. Clean, plain looking, more comic accurate, of course, but it looks good. Does he do squats? Yes, no. It's mixed. Then you have here the back of the hamstring, which mine, unfortunately, I don't want to say it's damaged, but it is a bit deformed, which I'll show you in a bit. But I don't know what's the color supposed to be. It's supposed to be blue, like this kind of blue, like matte, or this shiny blue. Because look, you can see perfectly what I mean here. This is more shinier compared to here, so I don't know. Mine, I have no idea why does it look like that. So let me know in the comment section if you have this figure. Is it this kind of blue shiny or matte? But there's the back of the hamstring. Not much to it. The back of the boot as well too, just like that burgundy brownish kind of color. There's the side of the boot. Right, I do like this gold paint. I do like the shine of it. Looks perfect because when you have it like a dark color in the back and you have this nice kind of gold, the flash symbol on there looks really nice. Or the wings, I should say, looks really nice. Got a little bit of detail on the feet. And here's the front of the boot. Just clean, plain looking. Then you got the knees. And then you have the thighs. Very muscle toned, just like the upper body. Now, as I said, it's deformed. You can see perfectly what I mean here. I tried to fix it by lowering the diaper part. But it did help because when I got it out of the box, this thing was a lot higher. It was almost up to here. And you can see it inside here. So I was able to lower it a little bit. It'll help out a bit. You can see how it's kind of a bit crooked. So I did help it out a little bit. But it's one of those, when you have it like this, like to the back, you can see it's popping out. And then when you do it like this, see that? It bends, but this side, right? So it's a bit unfortunate. I don't know if I should return it or maybe claim to Target, be like, hey, I got a damaged one, see what they can do. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know what to do just yet. But overall, I gotta say, for this figure, I like the figure. Clean, plain looking. Again, typical spandex Flash type of figures, because a lot of the Flash figures are very plain looking, which is nothing wrong with them, more comic accurate. But the standout's going to be the actual headpiece, especially the eyes. I'm a sucker for kind of like this kind of design. I like it. I don't know why, but I do like it. And so overall, for this figure, for what you're getting, which I'll talk about the pricing in a bit, I gotta say, damn good deal. Let's start off with the articulation for Cassandra Cain. So head, left, right, up, down, shoulder articulation, bicep, elbows, wrist, torso, swivel. Then we'll do leg articulation, knees, ankle, and of course toes as well. So overall, the articulation on this figure, oh actually, forgot about something else. The cape is also, I don't want to say articulated, but you can have it straight, you can have it like this. So I guess in a way it's considered articulation, but you get what I'm saying. So overall, the articulation on this figure is actually good overall. Now let's talk about this figure, because I know for a fact I've been wanting a Cassandra Cain figure She finally has arrived, and it's a very clean, plain-looking headpiece for Batgirl Cassandra Cain, or Orphan, because that's how she looks like in the comics. Just a black mask with the black eyes. You got the stitching around the mouth, which I like that, and then you have a little bit of stitching here on the side. The back there isn't it just very clean, plain-looking, and here's the other side as well too. So, in terms of the headpiece, I can't fault McFarlane. It's a clean, basic black headpiece, a little bit of the stitching design. That's it. And so for what it is, I think it looks fine. There's nothing amazing or anything, but McFarlane, like I said, McFarlane did a good job in terms of replicating how she looks in the comics, so there's that. Here's the arm. Now, if you're wondering, like, Mondo, why does it look kind of familiar? It's because this is going to be a repaint from this one, Batgirl, which I'll show in a bit. So here's the shoulder, right? Very slim shoulder, bicep, tricep, not much to it. Then you have here the gauntlet itself, right? There's a plain black. Then you have a little bit of the Batman logo, the trigger hand on the left hand. And then there's that weird paint, which you can see perfectly here. This side underneath is glossy, but over here on the top is just matte. And the other side is going to be the same thing. Kind of a weird design here on the actual shoulder piece. Slim bicep and tricep. And then the forearm is going to have the gauntlets on this as well. Then you have the Batgirl or Cassandra Cain logo, which looks really, really nice. I do like how it's black. Of course, you got that gold outline. And the matte gray. I think it looks really good. It definitely stands out when you have a light on it. It does pop, that gold, which I like. And then you have the abdomen, which is very, very busty. And the back as well too, which is very clean, plain looking back. And of course the cape. As I mentioned, the cape is wired. So I believe this might be the second one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is the cape. In terms of the material, something we've seen before by McFarlane, but again, it's going to be wired. So you can have it like this, or you can have it like this. You can really play around with it, make some really cool poses, something that I'm not very good at, but you get the idea. And so, overall, the upper body on this figure, I think it looks really good. Is it like amazing, 10 out of 10? In my honest opinion, no. But then again, this is more comic accurate. And even on the image of the comic, I mean, that's what she looks like, right? I can't fault McFarlane for it. He did a good job with this particular figure, right? It looks similar to the comic. And so the figure itself, it looks fine. But is it like a huge standout towards like, oh my god, this is amazing? No. And again, I don't hate it. I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I like it. Does she do squats? Yes, she does. So there you go. Cassandra Cain does squats. Here's the back of the legs, and if you're wondering why it looks familiar, it's because it's going to be repaint from the Batgirl one, which I'll show in a bit. There's the back of the legs. Look, it's kind of designed there. There's the back of the boot. The side of the boot. All right, you can see the Batman logo on there. Very subtle, but you can see it right there, right? The pointy ears and the feet. There is going to be the thighs. The thighs are very slim. Thighs, again, like Batgirl. A little bit of design here in the inner thigh. Then here you have the utility belt. Looks nice, looks clean, right? It doesn't match the gold paint. I wish this gold was also present on the utility belt, because it just looks, it looks like it's like a brownish goldish kind of color. It's a weird color. So it just kind of looks like it's not bad, it's just there. So I wish this would had a more gold, like something like this kind of look to it. And so overall, for this particular figure, I like it. It's a clean, plain looking Cassandra Cain figure, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, but for the price, which I'll talk about in a bit, I'm kind of like, ugh. But for what it is, regardless of the price, I like the figure. I like the whole wired cape, because I know some people are very good at posing, and so I'm pretty sure some of you can pose really cool looking poses with having a wired cape where you can do something unique and different. So I'm really looking forward to kind of playing around with her a little bit. Nothing like that or sexual, but you get what I'm saying. But this figure itself, I like it. I've been wanting a Cassandra Cain. Boom, we finally got Cassandra Cain. Now we're missing Spoiler and, of course, Huntress, which I believe she is coming out this year. But that's in the future. But for now, this figure, I like it. But, of course, the main question is it really worth it? Should you go out and get these figures? For the price for the Rival, I gotta say for that one, I think it's a good deal because for $23 you get 2 extra pair of hands and you get some additional lightning bolts, which I know we've gotten multiple, but hey, we got accessories with it for 23 bucks, and the figure itself looks good apart from mine being a little deformed. I'd say that's a really good deal for it. Cassandra Cain, for the price for what you're paying for it, it's a good figure, yes, but is it really worth the price of 23 bucks? I would say wait for a sale. But since this is a gold label Target exclusive, it's one of those you can either risk it and miss the opportunity to get this figure, or you can hopefully get lucky and get it on sale. Because to me, for $23 for what you're getting, I don't know if maybe the wired cape costs more for production. You guys know more, so please let me know in the comment section if the production cost for wired cape costs more. Because if it is, then I would say it's definitely worth the price. If it's the same as a regular plastic cape, then for what you're getting for 23 bucks, it's more of a wait for a sale. But since this is a gold label, it's one of those you have to kind of get it now. Apart from the price, so what I'm thinking about the figures itself. For Rival, I like the figure. The headpiece looks really nice, especially with the lightning bolts coming out of the eyes. And I do like the paint job, so I like that one. Cassandra Cain, I like the figure. Clean, plain looking. It looks similar to the comics, but unfortunately when it's similar to the comic, which is very basic black and gold, there's really not much to it in terms of color variation, but it still looks good overall. So overall, what do I give these two figures? They both get a thumbs up from me. Even though I have my gripes on this one just a little bit, it's still a good looking figure. Just very clean, plain looking. But the wired cape, again, I don't know if maybe the wired cape costs more for production. So maybe that's why you get less for your money per se. But if the wired cape costs the same as plastic, well, I said what I said. For Rival, for what you're getting for the price, heck yeah. But they both get a thumbs up for me. There you go. Here we have Jay Garrick and, of course, Rival. And as I mentioned, this is going to be a repaint of this one. And I believe there's a platinum which I'll have the platinum one on the left here, where it's almost similar to this color right here of the Rival. In terms of the color palette, it's a little different, but you get the idea. I think it's a great looking figure, very classic looking, very spandex, of course. Jay Garrick figure. Then you have this one. Compared to these two, I do like the paint on here. This whole deformity right here is just kind of like, once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. But anyways, they both look good, but I do like this whole eyes. Something about the eyes, it's just a standout. And like I said, this one is just a repaint of this one. They both look good, but out of these two, which one do I prefer? Honestly, I'm going to go for Rival. I like more of the dark color tone, but the headpiece itself, it looks really good. Here we have Batgirl. This is going to be Batgirl Joker Eyes, also a Target exclusive gold label. Now, as I mentioned throughout the video, this is going to be essentially a repaint from this one. Obviously, small, minor differences, but one, you can see the legs, right? You can see that Batman logo on there on the legs. Boom, also present here. Oh, also present there. You see what I mean, right? Look at the boot. You can see a little bit of design here on the line, right? And then also present here. The gauntlets on here, they're going to be slightly different, right? This one's more just round. This one's going to have that Batman logo on there. And, of course, the actual chest piece. This one, hopefully it doesn't fall. This one's kind of painted. This one actually texturized, actually has plastic on it. And you get the idea. So, there you go. They both look good. But, man, when you have Batgirl Joker Eyes standing next to a really dark, plain-looking Cassandra Cain figure, it just looks weird. The one downside of this figure, which I forgot to mention, is the scaling. Because Cassandra Cain is shorter than Batgirl. I mean, like, come on. Just scale it down a little bit. I'm not saying a whole lot, just a little bit to where you can see the difference in height. She is going to be essentially the same height, which is unfortunate because, again, in the comics, Cassandra Cain is shorter than Batgirl. I mean, this is based on the comic, but yet, you get what I'm saying? So that's kind of another reason why I'm kind of like, ugh. It's a great looking figure and I like it, but it's just... If you read the comics, you'll know what I'm talking about. The scaling is short. It's like having Damian Wayne Robin being the same height as Batgirl. It's like, no, that doesn't make sense. Same thing here. Cassandra Cain isn't this tall. She is shorter. Damian Wayne's still shorter than Cassandra Cain, but Cassandra Cain should be about up to this, maybe this height, right? Up to her chest. Obviously, she's not. So, it's unfortunate, though. Here we have Batwoman next to Cassandra Cain. Again, scaling. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record because it's true. The scaling is off. I should have mentioned that when I did an overview of this. My bad. But the scaling, she is a lot shorter than Batwoman. And boom, you see perfectly what I mean. And of course, if you read the comics, you'll know why. Well, if you read the comics, you'll know of the correlation between Batwoman and Cassandra Cain. But anyways, here we have two Batman family figures. Batwoman, Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. The scaling. Once it's just... Everything else is fine. It's just the scaling. I know some of you may think, Mondo, really? You're nitpicking? Think about it. Just think about it for a moment. Imagine having Darkseid the same height as Batman. Wouldn't you be like, what? Darkseid's taller. Same thing here. Cassandra Cain is shorter, but yet she's almost the same height as Batwoman. Doesn't make sense. Here we have another Gold Label Target exclusive figure. We got Flash from the Flashpoint Build-A-Figure Wave, and of course, Rival. Now, I'll be honest. When I got this figure, I was like, oh, it's cool. It's plain looking, very, very spandex-like. And I was like, okay, whatever. But the more I look at this figure, the more I'm like, you know, this is a nice, good Flash figure. I didn't hate it at first. I was more of like, it's alright. But now, I don't know, something about it just gets my attention even more. Especially if it's unmasked. Because you rarely get any unmasked Flash figures. So, nonetheless, here we have Rival next to another comic-accurate Flash figure. Here we have both of them standing next to each other, Rival and Cassandra Cain. They are both Target exclusive Gold Label figures. If you were to ask me which one I prefer out of these two, honestly, and this pains me to say, I'm going to go for Rival just because of one thing. Man, I forgot to mention it when I did an overview of Batgirl, or Cassandra Cain, which is my fault. But the scaling. Look, I've read the comics, I do comic overviews, and so once you read the comics, you get a good idea in terms of the height. So when you have Cassandra Cain, same height as Batwoman and Batgirl, it's just off. Like I said, Damian Wayne is a short character. So when you have Damian Wayne, let's say as this tall, it throws the proportion off. So something about it, you're like, it's cool to have, but you just can't unsee it. And so to me, because I really like the Orphan or Cassandra Cain as a character in the comics, it just pains me to say this, but I prefer this one. Because this one, I have no issues with that. Apart from this whole thing, this one is fine. This looks cool, but the height, the scaling is important to me. So, it is what it is, but yeah. So, out of these two, once again, I'll go for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me in these figures or plan on purchasing these figures? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, and Rival. These are both Target exclusive Gold Label figures. And on to the next one.